Howdy, y'all. Welcome back to my channel. This is AR Kavli, and today we're going to do some more forbidding and adventuring in the Forbidden Lands. So our first step, as usual, is to come over here to our Book of Beasts, or actually, no, it is to look at our journeying for one, but it's actually to look for the XP questions. I should just note them on a little a sticky note or something. Let's see. Oh, that's the game master. I want the players, I think. Yes. I should probably just start skipping the basic stuff because I think everyone's got it, myself included, and it's probably not all that interesting to watch me do. But we did travel through at least one hex, no adventure sites, no monsters. It was just traveling last time. I don't think we found any treasure. So just one, I think just one experience from last time. We'll update that. We'll go ahead and roll our weather. Four, four, and a 2, which I think is all standard stuff. As in, by standard, I mean no bonuses or penalties. It's under journey, weather. All right, for a breeze with no rain and a pleasant temperature. So when we left last time, we had been flooded, but managed to get through the flood finally. And now we're going to first we're going to see if we can get across the river. Now they can see, maybe, are they in that same hex? Well, that's the next hex over, but they can possibly see it. All right, so they're going to look for a way across. Zell, give us a survival roll to cross that river. Excellent. So they managed to cross that river. There's a tower in a hex. I don't know. It's on a river. Doesn't seem too far away. Like maybe they would be able to see it. Of course, assuming I want to use it. I think I really need to, what I need to do is get a better map. So I think we'll say they probably see it off in the distance, but they may not want to go check it out. Now that they have a goal in mind, we'll see. We'll use our random encounters, if any, to inform our decision what to do with that. So that first survival was to get across the river. Now this is just for lead the way. Okay, lead the way fail with a D66, a 4, and a 6. I think that's that sounds familiar. That sounds like the downpour. go take a look. Lead the way. Failure. 4-6. Oh, no. Close. Fog. You are caught unawares by a thick fog. The distance you cover this quarter day is decreased by 1 hex. In difficult terrain, you're stuck. Okay, so they have the horses. They get to move three hexes per quarter. So the thick fog will reduce their travel by 1. Let's draw a card, see if we run into anything into this hex. Oops, that was the wrong scroll. But let's see, what do we have here? 8 of hearts, so that is going to be a random encounter roll in the GM's play guide, if I remember correctly. Journeying for 1, yes, 2 to 10. All right. So let's get us a D66, 5 and a 1. I'm pretty sure that's going to be an encounter. Remember, if it's red, it's the Forbidden Lands book. And if it's black, it's the Book of Beasts. Five and a 1. I guess we'll say plains. So 6. The horse. All right, well, this is a duplicate because we already have Chauncey, and that's the encounter we got him from, so we will skip it. And we will go to the next hex. Yeah, whatever that tower is, I think we'll let it go and continue our way north. Along the edge of the trees. So we have Harmsmoor is the area of the ogres. So it looks like, hopefully, we managed to get by those. And the forest is still the land of the orcs, though. So they are likely in the area somewhere. Let's hope we can avoid them. Second hex for the morning watch. Zell, give me a roll, my man. Okay, good. So he made it through, or he made it, so no mishap. Let's see what our next card is. Same thing. A roll after as the fog gets them twisted up and slows them down, because even though they're on horses, when they can't see where they're going, they certainly don't want to make sure that they want to make sure that they don't throw a horse's leg out or snap it falling into some little ravine they couldn't see in the fog. So they travel slow for the rest of the watch. The second hex, Zell makes his roll. And we have 7 of hearts, so another encounter table roll. 4 and 4. Back to our 4 and 4 on the plains is number 3. The Orcish Fugitive. Well, that would make sense since we are by the orc or by the orc forests. At first, you hear a guttural song. Rish-rash, gookul, gookul. And the sound of a drum beating out a rhythm. Then you spot a group of orcs walking in a chaotic procession, singing a hymn. In the middle of the group, two of the orcs carry a huge wooden stick, where a trussed-up orc hangs dangling and helpless. Let's give Lennox his scouting roll. See if they get a good hint ahead of time, or get to see them ahead of time. Excuse me, my allergies are kind of acting up here. Scouting, and then +2 for his spyglass. Lots of 5s, but no successes. I don't think in this case it'll be one for pushing. So, but what they come across, they see a group of orcs, twice as many in number, so 4, on their way back to their clan. With a fugitive who ran away to seek his own destiny. The orcs have typical game statistics. I gotta say that Lennox is not really interested in orc traditions or politics. At the risk of sounding like well, my character wouldn't do that, which I actually don't have too much of a trouble with a player who's that way. I mean, that's, you play your character, and as long as they're not using it to cause trouble within the game, which I'm not trying to do. It's my game. I'm here playing by myself, so I'm obviously not trying to cause myself any trouble. But Lennox is uninterested in getting involved in any kind of orc shenanigans. Besides, as far as he knows, maybe this guy's being hauled off to, be to go have fun times with the beautiful orc queen, or something like that. Either way, they are going to move on. So first morning was fog. Now they're in their afternoon watch. I'm gonna continue on. Following the force, that's their plan. I know I have a nice pretty map, but I don't think they do. So they have the basic description: go up to the Fuhlenmark, and there's a mountains up there. Go in the mountains. So they're gonna follow it around and then kind of try to trudge through the mountains. So no failure. 3 of clubs. So that's roll the black beasts. 3 and 1 on the plains. Okay, just barely. All right, encounter number 1. The birthing manticore. Well, that doesn't sound great. An agonized bellow echoes through the wilderness, bending trees and branches with its sound wave and shaking the very earth beneath your feet. The next bellow almost knocks you to the ground. There, and no doubt about it, a large and powerful beast not far from here is in immense pain. And once again, he's not interested in finding any kind of immense beasts, in pain or not. Let's give Lennox his scouting roll. See if he... No. That one he might be able to push. But I'm going to say no. So he is unable to glean anything useful ahead of time. Obviously, this thing is bellowing, so they know it's there. Let us see what the encounter is. So the bellows are coming from a female manticore giving birth to a litter of monstrous cubs. Player characters who follow the noise through the terrain will soon find the creature's lair. Yeah, I just maybe if it was a different kind of character, then he would be a little more interactive with some of these encounters. But Lennox does not want to go towards any monsters. So he's going to let that one hex crawl on by. And we'll move on to the next hex. They'll give us a scouting roll for the lead the way. Fail on that. 3 and a 1 on a failed lead the way. Sprained ankle. Uh-oh. Your Pathfinder falls or twists his ankle and suffers a critical injury equivalent to result 25 to 26 on the blunt trauma table on page 197. Well, that's not too great. Well, let's see though. They're on horses. I'm going to say that there's a chance that maybe he had gotten down to, listen to the listen to the ground, or, lick a leaf or something like that to do his tracking, his leading of the way. But I'm going to say that the chances are that it's going to be one of the horses that actually ends up maybe going lame, and they're going to have to deal with that. So I'll use a yes, no with 2 cards towards, with the increased chance going that it's a horse. So is it one of their horses that hurt the leg? So it's a ace of hearts or a 10 of clubs. If we go back to our oracle, So in this case, I'm going to say it's an exceptional yes. And since it's an exceptional yes, that might actually mean that the horse, gosh, that might mean they have to put the horse down. Like, not just went lame, but actually snapped the horse's leg. Ugh. Yep, that's what I think it's just going to be. The horse, one of their horses just got leg broke, and they can't do anything about it. You just can't fix a broken horse's leg, especially out here. Oh, I think I forgot to. It seems like maybe I forgot to have them roll for food and water last time. Oh, well. We'll say they ate a bunch of fish and eels that came up in the flood. Maybe now they'll get some horse snacks. And maybe some glue. So one of the horses is leg broke on a 1 through 3, and they're going to have to put it down. On a 1 through 3, it's going to be Chauncey. A 4, 5, or 6, it's going to be whatever. What did Zell name his horse? Zell. What did I name Zell's horse? Barry. That's right. So it's either going to be on 1 through 3, it's Chauncey. On a 4, 5, or 6, it's Barry. Alas, poor Barry. So we will have to move berries to skins. And while I'm at it, pelts. While I'm at it, let me look up, see how much a pelt actually weighs. Trade goods. There's a sleeping. Okay. All right, well, it says here that a sleeping fur is made of 2 pelts, and that's normal. So it makes sense that if I can't find it here in just a second, because I don't want everybody to have to sit and watch me flip through this ridiculous book. Not ridiculous book. I love the book. But not to spend a ridiculous amount of time flipping through the book. How about that? Raw material, pelt. And it all just says, read about it. Oh, well. It's a resource. I'm sure there's some kind of rule for it, but I'm just going to make it normal for our horsey. And of course, Zell is heartbroken as the horseman, as the High Plains drifter kind of person. He's heartbroken that his horse is. They're going to have to put the horse down because it's so leg broke with that exceptional yes that there's really nothing. If maybe they were, if they were in a village or something and could just tuck him away in a stable and take care of him, he'd probably be lame for the rest of his life. But here he would just have no chance, and the Barry is whinnying and screaming and neighing, and it's a nasty. The bone is sticking out through as Zell rides along and falls into some kind of, or Barry's hoof falls right into some kind of snake hole or prairie dog hole and snaps. And it is a snap, resounding snap that seems to echo across the plain and into the dark woods off to their right. And the horse is screaming and flailing, and Zell barely manages to hop off. What is it? What happened? But he knows. He knows what happened. Oh no! And realizing that as they look and they watch, they realize very quickly there's not much they can do. So Zell offers a short prayer to the spirits of the horses and slaughters Barry to put him out of his very, very painful misery. Poor Barry. No more Barry. And I don't. I don't know that they would have a problem eating horse. Probably not. But I will say that between the incident and taking care of the horse and having to move stuff around and consoling consoling the horse spirit, and Zell does gather enough food to feed them for the 2 days, we'll say. So they don't have to worry about making any rolls tonight for food. But now we must see if anything is pretty noisy as things wind down. 7 of spades. 6 and a 2, 7 of spades in the Book of Beasts. That's definitely going to be something. That's going to be plains. Was a 6-1, right? No, 6-2. Plains 6-2. The Book of Plains, chapter 6, verse 2. 28. 28. The Book of Encounters, chapter 28. The Bridge of Bones. A deep ravine opens like a wound in the ground and blocks the path forward. However, a bit farther away is the skeleton of an enormous beast after its death that forms a natural bridge over the ravine. The 2-meter-high ribs prevent the adventurers from plunging into the chasm below, and once on the other side, they come out through the gigantic, extremely durable, or through the gigantic skull and gaping jaws. The beast's bones are extremely durable and can be shaped by a skilled craftsman into some form of weapon. An excellent bow or blade can be crafted with the crafting skill and the bowyer or tanner talent, rank 3. Well, the bones may be fine, but I'm not so sure about those tendons. Deep ravine lies like an open wound. All right, so it does block their path forward. So I'll have to say that they have found this after putting down poor Barry. Although I guess Barry could have fallen into the ravine, but so they approach this ravine. It doesn't look natural. Not that they necessarily know what an unnatural ravine looks like, but it's not something they would expect to see in this area. At the bottom, they can probably hear water from the nearby river that may be flowing in the ravine if it is that far that it blocks the way forward. But they cross. And that might be kind of hard for a horse to get across, even if they're leading, which is, of course, what Lennox is doing now. He's leading his horse, or at least they're taking turns riding him. Now, I guess they probably don't get there now that both of them don't have horses anymore. So they'll take a bone, I guess. If nothing else, out of sheer interest, possibly looking to see if it might be useful, that someone might be able to make something out of it. They're extremely durable and can be shaped by a skilled craftsman into some form of weapon. All right, I'm not a skilled craftsman. I'm not the skilled craftsman, but we will take a bone. Why not? I'm going to mark that and go ahead and update our adventure journal. And I won't make you watch. So they decide to find a place to camp. And I think Lennox will. They've got food. What is their water at? D8. I think Lennox will he'll keep watch while Zell tries to make camp. She's making camp, survival, +2 with the tent. Two successes. Camp is set up and made. They're going to eat their horse meat. You know what? They've probably been traveling away from the river for a while, but they've been in river hexes for a long time. So I'm just going to bump their water resources up to a D10. Kind of go halfway in between. Probably something I probably should have been keeping better track of, but and then the evening and the night passes uneventfully. As dawn breaks on the 10th day, Lennox and Zell eat what remains of. They eat some berry bacon. Yes, I know bacon comes from pigs, but it's a joke. Come on. Berry bacon, Barry the horse, leftover. Anyway, they have a hearty berry bacon meal and break camp. And then the discussion, do they want to, if they go across, just kind of generally gauging it, there'll be 1, 2, and then a difficult hex before they get there, or they can go through the forest and go 1, 2, and then into the gap. So either way, but now they're not in the open, or they don't have 2 horses anymore. So it may just behoove them to go through the forest, because they'll have to go the long way around. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I guess it's about the same now that they're not mounted anymore. They decide to cut into the forest so that they don't have to try to cross those mountains. And I rolled the weather. It's typical. Like I said, just going to start speeding through some of that, and 1 experience points for moving. And this is regular woods, so it counts still as open terrain, so they get to do 2 hexes. First hex for lead the way. No. Okay, 3, 2 for a lead the way failure. Sprained ankle. Again, come on. Well, it's a rough forest. Now, since at least one of them is walking, well, all right, here says your Pathfinder falls or twists. So in this case, I guess it would probably be him again. I guess the system wasn't happy enough with killing the horse. We needed to get another sprained ankle in there. Really, people? Come on. All right, so what does that do exactly? Result 25 to 26 on page 193. That's the critical, or 197. Critical injury. All right, I must have missed something. Lead the way, a failure. With the sprained ankle, results 25 and 26 on page 197. 25, 26. Okay, so same as broken toes. To run becomes a slow action. All right, so he's got a sprained ankle. Run is now a slow action. And the healing time... 2 days. Yeah, not too bad. Let's shuffle our cards. Do a double shuffle. This is for our encounter. 8. It's going to be 8 of diamonds. So that's going to be a roll in the Game Master's book. 2d6. Or d66. 6 and a 2. That's definitely something. Wonder if that's the same thing we just had. 6 and a 2. That sounds familiar. Let's see. So we're definitely in the woods, in the forest, with a 6 and a 2, a 10. The fox. The fox. What does he say? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. A strange song echoes over the land. A growly male voice sings of purple flowers and deep tombs where heaven and earth meet. You have never heard a song such as this before. As you pass a turn in the road, you suddenly find yourselves eye to eye with a small fox. It stares at you with large eyes. The song has ended. Okay, so the fox is actually a demon called Grelf, huh? Probably not something they would know offhand, but definitely something strange since the fox sounds like likely singing. Okay, the fox is actually a demon called Grelf, and it is the creature who sang the song. However, Grelf takes pride in being in character as a fox and prefers not to sing or talk as long as he is around the adventurers. If he decides to talk, he will sound like a weary and grizzled warrior. Being a curious demon, Grelf will keep close to the adventurers and will sleep nearby when they camp. Grelf can transform into a demon at any time. Huh. Alright, so it doesn't sound like he's necessarily immediately hostile or anything. I'm going to give, instead of a scouting roll, I'm going to give Lennox an insight roll. Because obviously someone was singing, and now all they see is the fox. So Zell, as they come around, and they're looking for the hunter, or who is singing the song, which would be a strange thing for a hunter who's stalking a fox to do. But there's something crazy about this fox. Let's see if Zell, or not Zell, let's see if Lennox can get an inkling about it. One success. I suppose actually detecting a demon inside would be more of a magical feat. But there's something about the fox before the demon Gelf goes back into playing a fox, going back into fox character. A little an emotion flashes across his foxy little face, and Lennox notices, and he looks around again. And this is the Forbidden Land, so it's not like strange things have not happened. And, however, it's also not like they haven't encountered a demon possessing a monster before. So, I think that's kind of where I think that's where Lennox is going to go. Was that you singing, Fox? Are you hiding a demon in your furry coat? And he's trying to he's not trying to intimidate the demon, but he's trying to put on a brave front. Does the demon stay in character? He likes to stay in character, it says, but he obviously knows the jig is up, and he is a curious demon, it says. So does he reveal himself? I'm going to say, at least for now, I think he's probably going to follow them because he's curious, at least, but maybe at a distance. So does he reveal himself, maybe not even as a demon, but just a talking fox, because that's what he likes to be, according to the description. So does he reveal himself? Yes or no? I'm just going to draw a single card. Queen of Clubs. That's going to be Queen of Clubs. Result. Face Club. No. And with some complication. I think the most obvious thing would be that the complication is that the most obvious, at least to me, would be that the demon realizes that the jig is up, that they suspect him, they heard him, and he wasn't paying attention when he was singing, and so he gave himself away. I think that's the most obvious, but I'm going to go ahead and draw. I'm going to use the theme. I'm going to use the theme oracle. See if it gives me any guidance. My gut is to go with that. But this seems to be more of a curious demon than a violent demon, so maybe it wouldn't do that. So the theme of his action is a 4 of clubs, 4 of spades. Grief. See, that kind of leads me back towards the other one. Like he's sorry he has to do it. Yeah, I think that's going to be it. That's I'm sorry that you had to hear me. I should have been more careful. And it saddens me that I now have no choice but to keep my identity silent or secret. You must die, humans. And the fox attacks. Let me head over to the demon generator, which is kind of unfortunate. It would have been, I don't know, I think maybe more interesting for Grelf to talk to them at night, tell them foxy stories. But instead, we're going to generate a demon from page 80. So let me go do that. So using one of my other, not my, but one I found, one of the other pretty good generators that I found, this is a wormtails.net, has a demon generator on it. This is in the form of a goat. So it's a flying goat that wields a giant spiked mace. So I'm assuming I'm kind of picturing it almost more like a winged satyr or something. But it says it's not humanoid. Oh well. The fox rushes and leaps into the air, and while it's in the air, leaping towards our surprised heroes, wings burst out, dark like raven wings bust out of its back, and the fox snout changes, it squares up, and it has those big goat eyes with the square pupils. Those things are creepy. Goats are not very nice either. I know that. And rhymes the hooves as it launches into the air. The hooves are rimed with frost, and they can feel this cold. And it pulls a huge spiked mace out of its mouth, and is whirling around, flying, getting ready to attack. And make sure I got all of the right things. There he does. Okay, so he's got a Morning Star, which was probably not very comfortable to pull out of his mouth. And it was kind of cool his weakness, which of course our heroes don't know, but he takes he takes damage from soil, but he also flies, and so it kind of works pretty well that he takes those random attributes. Oof, armor 5, and he's got a flying movement of 3. All right, let's get everyone added. One too many. Let's find our initiative deck. This is our initiative, so we deal cards to turn order items. All right, well, unfortunately, it looks like our goat demon, Mr. Fox, goes first. Just a thought, Mr. Fox. He's a single opponent, but because he's really kind of more of a monster, I'm not going to use the combat cards. He's going to fly at whom? Who will he fly at? 1, 2, 3, Lennox. 4, 5, or 6, Zell. All right, he's going to fly at Zell. And is he going to use his mace or his cold attack? 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. He's going to use his mace. So he leaps in the air towards Zell and swings that mace, hurls it around, or that Morning Star. That's going to be 8 base dice. And they don't have their weapons even ready, so their first thing, they're really only going to be able to leap out of the way. 8 base dice. Well, look at that. He doesn't even have to hop out of the way. Does the demon want to push? I don't know. I guess I'm not really sure how that would work, because that's just base die number. Well, he flies by as they make their weapons ready. And now we're going to go. I'll just be using Lennox's rolls to fight the beast. And I think what it's probably going to do is every turn it's going to move and then attack. So it's going to fly around and attack. 1, 2, 3 mace. So he's going to use his cold. Base 11 dice, damage 1, and the int becomes cold. Did I say 11? Yes. Woo! He's got a cold one. 3 cold on Lennox. Oh my gosh. So I think a case, and I think a case probably could be made that that at least some armor would be helpful. But he's going to try to jump out of the way of this icy blast. We'll see if it works. We'll see if it works. Hmm. If he doesn't. Well, let's see. If he tries to push, he's going to take one to his agility no matter what. But it's better than, yeah, whatever. He's going to try to push. He'll go against his agility. And maybe that's, maybe only do that. So he takes an agility, trying to leap out of the way, and then takes 1, 2, 3 from the cold. Oh, you know what? I think for his leather, since his leather is like leathery, I'm gonna give him 3, but not for his open helmet. I don't think it would help against whatever this icy blast is. And maybe I'm being cheesy, but I don't know. It seems to make sense to me. That probably won't help too much. Oh, well, okay, so his leather, I was going to say it did stop 1 point, but it also penetrated, so that freeze, whatever the cold effect, the freeze cracked one of the leather plates, and now it's not particularly strong anymore. So it's down to 2. Well, max is 3. Armor is 2. Then we'll bring his helmet back up to snuff there. And he takes 2. That's not good. As this flying goat demon probably breathes an icy blast that blows Lennox to the ground, destroying some of his armor and freezing him, and making him cold. And gosh, Lennox, he does have Zell acting as a help, because this guy's icy breath can go to a near range. So Zell is, or Lennox is basically riding after, or not riding, but chasing after. I guess he could ride. Yeah, he's chasing after this demon, trying to swing and slash and and kill it, while Zell is following along, throwing arrows at it. So now it is Lennox's turn. Lennox is going to chase after an attack, because this guy's got to move a 3. So if he wants to get in, he's going to have to chase him through the woods. But at least they're in a forest, so I'll say this demon is probably more leaping tree to tree, using his wings like a moose and squirrel, like a flying squirrel jumping from the branches, but still being very difficult to do anything about. In fact, I guess if he really just wanted to hover out of out of the range of his sword, he could just sit above them and breathe freezing ice of death down on them. But that's not very heroic, so we'll let Lennox chase him around the forest, swinging haphazardly, desperately, trying to get something on him. Unfortunately, he's now down to 2. As he goes with his broadsword, and I think since he's flying, I think it's I think that might make him a, maybe not susceptible, but I'm gonna give Zeld 2 bonus dice for the help he's getting from his archer buddy. And hopefully this will do us some good. Come on, go. Oh, there we go. That's a pretty good one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 hits. And this guy's got, he's got 5 armor. So I'm just going to use all right, so 1 armor success. 1, 2, 3. Oh, whoops, I forgot when he's using his sword. Did that help him? No. All right, in case that didn't make sense, I forgot to use the sword fighter to give him a +1 with his sword. So I put it up an extra skill, but I forgot to put the dice down to 0 for the demon's armor roll that I'd made. Either way, long story short, it did not, that did not help him. And he got 1, 2, 3 points in on the demon. And the demon has a strength of 7. Man, this is going to be a tough one. So he starts with 7, he got 3, so he's got 4 left. And then now it's the demon. As he's flying around, who's he going to attack? 1 through 3. Well, first, 1, 2, 3, mace. Okay, so he's using his mace on 1, 2, 3, Lennox. Using his mace on Lennox. So his mace is, what's it, 7? 8, or his morning star. His huge morning star. His huge, goaty morning star. All right, getting dangerously close here. 8 dice. I'll use Lennox's sheet. 8 dice as he swings. He comes in flying, swinging his massive mace. Two hits on Lennox. That's not going to go all that great. $11 base, so 1. Oh, no. Morning Star, 8 base dice. That's damage 2 plus 1. And as he's swinging, he's going to, or Lennox is going to try to jump out of the way. And that jumping out of the way dodging a slash. So if he does a dodge, really, I think in this case he should be able to dodge that. I mean, it only makes sense. And I think it says there anyway that they can dodge generally, but not parry. Oh, I should have given it a +2 last time. Oh well, live and learn. So because it's a slash, a swing, it's +2 to dodge, which is good because I think he ended up losing most of his a good portion of his agility. So +2, and this is trying to stop. Well, I think he's definitely going to push this one. Yeah. Well, I was going to say I could use his melee, but that's no longer his best role now, using his kin talent. All right, so he does. All right, so he stops. He breaks even on that one, I guess. He takes one. Well, no, he takes an agility. So that does change something. That changes his or it keeps him possibly in the fight one more round. Well, maybe. Because he got cross swords, it cancels out this extra. So if his armor doesn't stop it, he's going to be broken. Is he broken? Ah. Yes, he is broken. Poor Zell, or a poor man. That demon fox goat came out of nowhere and just beat the crap out of Lennox. Die 66. Let's see his fate. Oh, that's not great. I don't know what that is offhand, but I know that the worse the better. I mean, the better the roll, higher wise, the worse the result. So let's go check our critical injuries. 5-5 with a crushed foot. Lethal. All right, so as he tries to leap out of the way, he keeps the Morning Star from crushing his skull. But as he rolls to the side, the goat, the mace wielding flying goat demon, pounds his foot and crushes it to the ground, uh, causing massive blood loss and nerve damage. I'm guessing this. Uh, it says it's lethal, so it's got to have done something. Run becomes a slow action. And he has a time limit of D6 days to get successful treatment. But we'll deal with that after the battle, assuming he even survives the battle. Because he is now broken. I guess it's up to Zell. which, as a companion, that kind of is unfortunate because he's not nearly as developed as Lennox. But we'll say that Zell, as Lennox screams, clutching his now ruined foot and crawling into the trees as best as he can, the demon laughs this goaty laugh, satisfied with the blood dripping from his morning star, and Zell takes aim with his, well, he doesn't take aim, but he lines up a shot. Zell is probably much more useful fighting separately than he is just giving my poor guy one help dice. Well, maybe right, maybe not. He's gonna push. He's gonna push it because he needs to get an arrow in that guy. All right, well, he got one. He got one hit and then one damage to his longbow. As he strains, and he hears a little creak in the wood, which is not really something you can fix very well, but unfortunately, he will only do one damage. We'll give the demon his 5 armor dice. No armor dice for the demon. All right, so now it's the demon, and he's going to attack Zell. 1 through 3 mace. No, he's going to use his 11 dice freezing attack. This little fox was not really supposed to turn into a TPK for my solo campaign. What does the fox say? He says, "Take that, biatch!" All right, 11 dice. Cold dice. Holy croaks. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's a damage 1. Yes, so damage 1. Does he get out of the way? No, that's not Zell's best thing. He tries to jump out of the way. I don't know if I'll just make that a flat dodge roll. And he could push it, but he's automatically going to take 1 to the agility. Now I think he'll leave it to his armor. I'll give him the same since he has leather. Although I think my leather seems to be better than his. Or maybe my sheet's wrong. Oh well. Roll armor. Roll let Zell. Nothing. So he takes 1, 2, 3, 4 and is broken. I kind of miscounted there. I was hoping. All right, so the freeze drops in, and Zell feels it in his bones. He feels it. He feels the burning bite of frostbite everywhere. Let's see. I need to see if that. I know I read it somewhere as to taking critical hits, critical injuries, others. That's probably what it is. Let me hit pause for this station break. Zell, he can't move his limbs. Nothing is responding, and suddenly his whole body just turns numb, and he looks at the demon a final time as his vision tunnels into darkness and he goes unconscious. And from the critical chart, it says he's unconscious until he dies or is healed. Now the demon hovers, or the demon finds a perch in a tree. Lennox is feebly clutching his crushed foot in one hand and trying to crawl away. His sword shaking as he's trying to keep it at the demon, knowing that he's completely helpless. All you had to do was ask, and we wouldn't have told anybody about you, and who would believe us anyway? Who would care about a demon fox? I have people who want me destroyed. I don't know any of them. Let us go. Just leave us be. You've defeated us. We won't tell. Take everything we have. I can do that anyway. But you don't need to. We're looking for the lair of Princess Mia. We're looking for her relic. Do you know where it's at? Could you show me the way? Now Lennox is really just playing for time. That he's toast. Zell is curled, looking lifeless. The mist of being frozen still rising over his motionless body. And he's trying to pique the demon's interest in this legend. He has nothing else to do. So he's going to try to talk his way out of it, having been thoroughly defeated. But will it work? Manipulation's not really his strong suit, and right now, well, right now that's well, he has healing. Insight. He's going to use a willpower point, and he's going to try to use his insight to see what this demon might want. It's a curious demon, maybe the tale of this elven queen who is possessed by somebody. That might be interesting, and who now rules an undead castle or village or something. So he's going to spend that willpower point. He's going to use his trait, his kin talent, to select a different skill to make the roll. And this time he's going to use insight because that's his highest one. And insight seems like a good, it seems like a reasonable thing to use that insight to get what he wants from this demon, which at this point is mostly not to get his head crushed in. All right, come on. No. He's got to push it. No, okay. One, one, one insight into his manipulation. So in this case, it's because he's trying to manipulate him. If I'm going to go written, rules as written, then the demon will also get an insight test. But I'm going to check this negotiation position. Okay, so we get a +1 if you have more people. That's not it. Doesn't really cost our opponent anything technically, but he thinks it will. It puts him in danger. But +1 because the opponent has suffered damage. And I give him +1 for his reputation, maybe. And then -1, he doesn't have more people on our side, but he definitely kicked our ass, so we're not intimidating him. Not asking for anything valuable or dangerous per se. He doesn't have anything to gain by helping. So I'm going to say that all balances out, that all the positives cancel out. Now our demon has an insight. Oh, he's only got an insight of 1. Ah, but he has a high manipulation. So when if he wanted something, then that would be better off. But I'm trying to manipulate him or it. So that's going to be wits 3, insight 1. Wits 3, insight 1. All right. So Lennox is trying to convince the demon not to kill him. Let's see how it goes. If the demon gets any successes, Lennox's honeyed words will fall on deaf, goatee ears. All right. Well, I guess the adventure may be able to continue. Because that was going to be a TPK. It might still be. I have to look up the healing stuff here just because he might not be able to. Lennox might not be able to heal himself. We'll see. So the goat, he ponders and he looks at the two. He looks back and forth between the two humans laying helpless before him. And he turns back into the fox and leaps down from the branch. The demon's weakness is touching the soil, but I assume that's I'm going to play that it's only in his natural demon form, since he was running around the forest as a fox. Although I guess a fox hopping from tree branch to tree branch would be interesting, but in his fox form, he doesn't have his demony powers, so I'm going to say that he's not going to have his demony weakness either in this fox form. Because it seems more like it's the way it's described is more like a form and not he is possessed a fox necessarily. But either way, as the goatee demon leaps from the tree, its wings fold in. Before he leaps, he takes his morning star, and shoves it down his throat, and then leaps from the tree. And on his way down, his goat horns curl up inside of his head. His creepy square pupils turn into yellowed fox pupils. The wings fold up, fold around, and turn into a red fur. And the fox lands lightly on the ground. So, humans, why do you seek Queen Niha's resting place? I'm curious. And I think that's probably a good place to stop. We're going at almost an hour and a half. I'll make one more decision. I'm going to use the Book of Beasts, this helpful hazardous oracle. Now we've already decided that, at least for now, the fox, this demon, which I'm going to have to, I'm definitely going to have to write this guy up as a maybe a reoccurring character. And it says that it sometimes will follow characters around, but interesting fox goat demon. But we've decided or determined that he's going to spare their lives at the moment. He may be able to help them, but we still have to see if they will survive, because we have not quite escaped a TPK yet. Both of these guys are in lethal, they're both broken. They both have lethal injuries. And if it turns out that Lennox can't heal, then they're going to die, as presumably the crushed foot is gushing blood, or causing internal bleeding issues. But we're going to use that oracle to see if the fox is going to be deadly or helpful. Queen of Diamonds. Well, let's see what that means. Is he being helpful? Red suit, Queen of Diamonds. Very helpful. Ah. The RNG giveth and the RNG taketh away. And the RNG random number generator, in case someone doesn't know what that means. Phew, man, I definitely thought that was going to be a TPK, and I was willing to let it turn into a TPK, because I'm fine killing PCs, especially in a situation like that. That was, even though it was kind of a silly random encounter, it was a deadly one, and it was interesting. They fought this crazed demon thing that just wiped them out. Went from being a cute fuzzy fox to a big winged goat demon thing with a morning star, and crushed them to pieces. So with that, that was a very helpful, because of that result. Very helpful. Close enough to life-saving, I think, that this demon, well, he doesn't have healing, but I'm going to say that he has the ability to keep them from dying, at least. And we'll see next week if he has the ability or the desire to actually heal them up to, heal the limbs and everything. But, well, that was an interesting turn of events. And I hope y'all enjoyed it. That was close. Whew. Anyway, thanks for coming along. Happy gaming.